Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Together we have been a part of history over this last decade, a decade that I know that I will never ever forget, that will always hold a very special place in my heart for the videos that I would upload about Dove Cameron, where it all began. And tonight we celebrate Dove Cameron's 30th birthday and return to where it all began for this YouTube channel. Your guys' love and support for this YouTube channel is truly unlike anything that I've ever experienced as a YouTube creator. Many of you who have been subscribed to this YouTube channel for what must feel like forever, and I know forever is a really long time to a lot of people who are really young who watch these videos, but I've been a fan of Dove Cameron for pretty much all of my life. I never knew that Dove Cameron would be the girl that would be the reason why I would go down in history for being one of the most celebrated names in the history of Descendants of Zombies. But together I've had the honor of sharing and celebrating in so many incredible moments from the franchises that you guys have grown up being fans of, that you've known and loved for what feels like forever. So I think that these moments should forever and always be cherished, and they should forever and always be celebrated. This week we are celebrating over 100,000 channel views, and that is truly unprecedented. That is truly unbelievable. It happened because of each and every one of you taking a chance on this crazy guy, who pretty much was a loser before all of you became a part of my life. And I have never felt more honored to have you guys be a part of my life, because you guys have allowed me to become your voice of Descendants of Zombies and represent you on what's been an incredible journey. I've had the honor of not only talking about Descendants of Zombies, but I've had the honor of meeting so many incredible people. And if you've noticed anything about me, in every video that I've ever gone on to upload on this YouTube channel for you, because this was never my YouTube channel, this was our YouTube channel, about what we wanted to talk about what we want to discuss, and what we want to review in ways that they were forever and always meant to be reviewed. Topics such as Dove Cameron's career, quality control's unprecedented success, the rise in popularity and fame of Freya Sky, who I can never seem to say enough nice things about. Together, undeniably, we were a part of history because we created history, and we created something special for every fan of Descendants of Zombies. And tonight we honor the 30th birthday of Dove Cameron for all these incredible moments that we've been a part of, and all these unforgettable moments and times in history that we've been a part of because of Dove Cameron. From the debut of Liv and Maddie to the premiere of her character Mal in the Descendants franchise, which a lot of people really didn't know quite what to make of when they saw the initial promos of Descendants. I got to be honest with you guys, when I saw the first promos of Descendants, how they were making the comparison to iconic Disney villains such as Maleficent, I thought it was really cool. And in weeks leading up to anticipation of the premiere of Descendants, I was ever so much excited to be a part of this. I had never felt more excited to be a part of a premiere such as legendary as what Descendants would go on to become. And I remember a couple hours after Descendants' first initial premiere, reading all the reviews off Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.com, some of the top review websites. And you know what you can expect on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.com. They are very brutally honest with their opinions, and there was kind of a mixed reaction kind of filing in for Descendants of Zombies. People were posting early reviews, and I think that they weren't really giving it much of a chance. But the people who did choose to give it much of a chance were very appreciative of what people like Dove Cameron and Sophia Kirsten had done for their roles, iconic roles of Nell and Evie, which will never ever be forgotten because of how fearless they were, how they never really cared what anybody thought of them. They just wanted to live by example. They wanted to be living, breathing examples of how really anything was possible for everybody. And I got to be honest with each and every one of you, from the very first moment that I saw the Mel character played by Dove Cameron, her unique perspective on how she could exemplify character traits to bring this character to life was unlike anything that I'd ever experienced in my lifetime, because I never saw Miley Cyrus do this. I never saw Selena Gomez do this. And you guys know how big of a fan and supporter I was of Miley Cyrus. I was pretty much in love with Miley Cyrus years ago in the Hannah Montana character. It had everything to do with her music and her vibe and her appreciation for the character. But even with how much appreciation she brought forth for that character, nobody did it better than Dove Cameron, because she was a very different Disney girl. She didn't want to live the perfect image. She just wanted to be herself, and you guys pretty much accepted her for herself, and you would go to her for advice. You would tweet her on Twitter at the time, and she would take time out of her busy schedule to offer you guys advice. Some of you were suffering from bullying. Some of you were suffering from, trying to be accepted in a world that oftentimes was very difficult to see acceptance in. And I think Dove Cameron's advice really helped a lot of people out of situations and predicaments they never wanted to see themselves caught up within. And I saw that very appreciative of Dove Cameron. And I gave Dove Cameron a lot of respect and a lot of acknowledgement, a lot of videos that I would upload. Pretty much how it happened for me is I just started uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies at random. I had no anticipation of going down in history of being one of the greatest of all time. I would love to believe that it will have something to do with Descendants and Zombies eventually. But you guys pretty much blew up my YouTube channel with recognition and popularity, and I would go on to achieve so much rarity for my reviews and my opinions on Dove Cameron, which were very different from any other reviews that were being posted about Dove Cameron for whatever Pacific era you're being a Dove Cameron fan from. I think there are so many fans who have loved Dove Cameron for so many different reasons. Her music, her fashion sense, just how incredibly beautiful and overflowing with talent the girl was. She just had such an approach to every character, every role that really would go on to define her legacy as one of the greatest of all time. And I would love to be having this conversation 20, 30 years from now about how Dove Cameron is officially being recognized as one of the greatest Disney legends of all time. Because if you can have Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez up in these conversations, so too can a character like Dove Cameron for the roles of Liv and Maddie Rooney, because playing a double character on a TV show is something I give her a profound amount of respect for, and I don't think ever enough respect can be shown to Dove Cameron for playing a double role. We saw Lindsay Lohan do it in 1999 in The Parent Trap, and that was forever ago. But I remember being a fan of the original remake of The Parent Trap done by Disney for the first time in 1998-1999. I had the honor of growing up as a Disney kid, dipping your Oreos in peanut butter, which was first introduced to me by Lindsay Lohan and her characters in The Parent Trap. I remember being such a huge fan of that movie and just how, it was so captivating seeing one of the first Disney girls ever to play a double role in a double life. Then came Miley Cyrus as Hannah Montana. Then from out of nowhere, many years later, here comes Dove Cameron. And I have to tell you guys, what she did playing a double role was very authentic and very different from anyone else who had ever been given that distinction or that responsibility, because there's a lot of heart and dedication that has to be put into roles. Of course, Liv and Maddie was originally sketched to be Bits and Pieces, and they revamped the show from Bits and Pieces to Liv and Maddie once they realized how much talent and how much of a chance could be taken on Dove Cameron. And as if her acting wasn't enough, she also had an incredible voice that she lent to a soundtrack of Liv and Maddie. You, Me, and the Beat, Better in Stereo were some of the defining songs off the score of Liv and Maddie, sung by Dove Cameron, and I will never ever forget that first music video that was dropped inspired by Liv and Maddie's soundtrack, Better in Stereo. It was such a beautiful music video, and the appreciation of everybody in the video was something I always took away from it, and just how appreciative Dove Cameron was to share in these moments with each and every one of you. I myself have been caught up in some pretty different experiences in my lifetime because of Dove Cameron. There was one night I was trying to make my way home to catch the latest episode of Liv and Maddie, and I broke my arm because it was a really foggy night. I couldn't see what was in front of me. The next thing I knew, I was having emergency surgery on my arm because I had broken my elbow on my way home to catch the latest episode of Liv and Maddie. Now, I did eventually see it, but not in the way that I anticipated to, and there's actually a scar on my arm from surgery I had on my way home to catch the latest episode of Liv and Maddie. So Dove Cameron's been credited to a lot of things that have happened to me in my lifetime, some unfortunate circumstances, but very fond memories that I remember from being a Dove Cameron fan. Unquestionably, Dove Cameron will go down in history for being the girl that made me famous on YouTube, because she was the first Descendant star that I noticed, that I wanted to give praise to, that I wanted to recognize in such an incredible way. And I had the honor of doing that through hundreds of videos that I would go on to upload about Dove Cameron. And I've done this better than anybody has ever been able to do it. I've come through for every fan of Descendants of Zombies because I've lived vicariously through a promise. And what it means to live vicariously through a promise is when you say you're going to upload content about Dove Cameron and content inspired by your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, then you follow through with that promise and on that commitment. And that's something I've taken a great deal of pride away from every video that I've ever gone on to upload. I never ever thought that we would be here tonight celebrating over 100,000 channel views and over 800 uploads to this YouTube channel, but there's something really here on this YouTube channel for everybody. No matter who you're a fan of from the Descendants and Zombies franchises, we have videos on Meg Donnelly, we have videos on Milo Manheim, we have videos on Kylie Contrell. Whoever you could imagine to have a conversation about, we're having these conversations about, and I've never felt more honored to be a part of these conversations with each and every one of you, to hear your insights, your predictions, and just to be a part of whatever you want to talk about, because this is your YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is forever and always an open book, which means what you want discussed and what you want talked about and topics that relate to each and every one of you, while I try to relate to each and every one of you as a guy who is very different, with a very different perspective to share. with each and every one of you. I think that one of the most precious things that a YouTube creator could ever have the honor of doing is relating to his audience. So if you have a favorite song from Dove Cameron, let's say if it's If Only from the Descendants soundtrack. If it's If Only from the Descendants soundtrack, and that's the one and only song that you've ever heard from Dove Cameron and that you've ever loved, then you have to take time out of your day to appreciate how people can understand that song and how they can relate to that song. Like how Freya Sky's music is often relating to you more than any Descendants or Zombie Stars music has ever done before. This is incredible. I have had the honor of experiencing the rise in popularity of some of these new Descendants of Zombie stars like Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky, which was very easy for me to get into, because I remember being a fan of Kylie Cantrell years ago when she was on a show called Gabby Duran and the Unsittables. I thought the concept of Gabby Duran and the Unsittables was a very beautiful show. It was very different from any other show that Disney had presented a concept for, like Hannah Montana living the double lifestyle of an everyday high school girl, and then by night she was a pop star from Wizards of Waverly Place, where the Waverly Place people were living in a sandwich shop and casting magic spells. I think that these characters really defined what Disney was really all about, and I think the Descendants franchise really gave us a chance to believe in something more than ever before. And I really took away a great deal of appreciation from Descendants and Zombies. I know that, it's very uncharacteristic to hear a guy talking about Descendants and Zombies all the time on his YouTube channel, but it has everything to do with how I've appreciated Descendants and Zombies for at least the last decade, because I've been a part of this from the very beginning. If you've done Google searches on my career before, you will know that I've been pretty much talking about Descendants and Zombies and been involved with the product for at least 10 years. I remember becoming involved with it for the first time ever on July 31st, 2015, and it's been an incredible decade. I feel the best way for me to put this in perspective for each and every one of you is I feel I've been a part of a journey for forever, and I've been on this journey for forever where I've discovered the power behind Descendants and Zombies and just how much of an influential force it's been to so many incredible people. Because everybody has a memory they've taken away from Descendants and Zombies, from the first moment you saw the Descendants franchise premiere, or from your favorite character from the first moment you fell in love with someone like Freya Sky, because Freya Sky is just receiving raving reviews and just receiving an overwhelming amount of love and support these days, and this is exactly what I wanted to see happen for Freya. I can never seem to say enough nice things about Freya Sky and just how appreciative she is of every moment she gets to spend with each and every one of you, because Dove Cameron was pretty much the same way. I mean, back in 2015, Dove Cameron was the biggest name on Disney Channel and Disney Plus, and she's still one of the most revered names of all time. We just don't never hear enough from Dove Cameron anymore, because she used to keep us updated on what's happening with her, and now you go on our social platforms like Facebook and X, and there's never really anything updated. I think she was trying to keep her X account updated there for a little bit, but she kind of shied away from that. I think she's trying to back off the spotlight and take a reprieve. I know she was taking a reprieve for over 2 years, and then she came back with a follow-up from Alchemical, which was Too Much, which was incredibly promoted just last year. I think Dove Cameron's re-emergence into the entertainment spotlight was incredibly done. She has never felt so strong. She has never felt so fearless. She's got a fitness regime that many of us would probably never dare to complete. I don't know if I'd ever be able to do it. I just recently got back into fitness regimes to try to keep myself in shape to get back to where I used to be, and it's very difficult to do, but I'm trying to keep up with that. And I think that it's because I've drawn inspiration from these incredible fitness regimes that these Descendants of Zombie stars have put themselves through, especially the new generation of Descendants of Zombie stars, because if you notice anything about the new generation, they are always talking about their fitness regimes, always having to lift weights, doing push-ups, trying to get the choreographing down. It's really incredible what these Descendants of Zombie stars inspire us to believe, because the Descendants of Zombie stars, I got to be honest with each and every one of you, I probably wouldn't be working out today if not for the Descendants of Zombie stars. And I say this because they offer a great deal of inspiration and inspire a lot of people. So they've got me back in the gym. They've got me feeling more confident than ever before. And I like to believe that they've also got a lot of other people believing in themselves more than ever before, because you heard an emphatic message from every song Dove Cameron ever sung. I remember when Alchemical first was released back in 2022, and she was saying in interviews she had never felt this strong, she had never felt more confident in her abilities, because she was aspiring to be something far greater than any critic had ever believed she would become. And I remember how openly honest, with an open heart and an open mind she was in every interview that she did. And I remember taking away a great deal of respect in every interview that I heard Dove Cameron dropped. I wish that I could have had the opportunity to have interviewed Dove Cameron, because I would have asked Dove Cameron a lot of very different questions, because it felt like every interview that Dove was doing to promote her albums and her compilations pretty much sounded the same. Because I think that there's a great deal of respect coming from people who separate their interviews and make their interviews sound different from everybody else. I've always wanted to make interviews sound like a conversation happening between the two best of friends. Because when you can make an interview sound like a conversation happening between the best of friends, you really take away a greater appreciation for that conversation that you have and the person that you're interviewing, and they too have a mutual understanding of you and that same amount of respect. So I think that everybody's taken away something special from Dove Cameron over this last decade at least. I remember being first introduced to Dove Cameron when Dove Cameron was only 17 years old. And I remember everything that she was going through in her personal life, which was always a forever constant struggle. And even with everything that she was having to deal with in her personal life, she got the role on Liv and Maddie, and she just blew up on Disney Channel seemingly overnight. And then came contractual opportunities to record albums and be a part of Marvel. And I remember Dove Cameron on the Powerpuff Girls live-action series on the CW. It was a very short-lived series, but it was kind of really cool seeing Dove Cameron going through these fitness regimes, getting in shape for these roles, doing the combat kind of aspect of the thing. She was doing boxing for a while. It was kind of really cool. And I think that a lot of people have taken so much inspiration away from Dove Cameron, and that can never go unnoticed. That can never go on without giving it a profound amount of credit and respect, because I've had so much respect for Dove Cameron over at least the last 10 years. So if you are a fan of Dove Cameron, I think this might be the YouTube channel for you, because Dove Cameron is where it all started for me. Dove Cameron is the girl that will go down in history for having been the girl who made me famous overnight on YouTube, because this is how it really happened for me. I really became famous overnight on YouTube. Now, I'm not widely known, but I'm known enough to have almost 4,000 people have subscribed here to this YouTube channel. And I've always wanted to have a great deal of pride and passion in behind every video that I've ever uploaded about Descendants of Zombies, because once you win the hearts of every fan of Descendants of Zombies, you've truly got something to be appreciative of. And I have forever been appreciative of each and every one of you. I've had a lot of unforgettable moments that I've shared with you, unforgettable moments and stories that have related to each and every one of you. And I've become one of the most relatable hosts on YouTube because of how I can relate to an audience. It's a gift, in all honesty, and it's a gift to be very appreciative of, because a lot of people would not have that same level of appreciation for a fandom such as Descendants of Zombies as what I have. I've defined you through your music, through your favorite moments, your beloved characters, and I've honored that with so much respect. And I like to believe that 20 years from now, we'll still be having these conversations about Clarke and Trell, about Fred Sky, and about Dove Cameron, where it all began, because they related to you. And because they related to you, you guys deserve all the respect in the world. There is never enough time in every conversation that we have for me to give you enough respect. And I will forever and always come through in so many incredible videos about Liamani Segura, who I'm looking forward to being in the new Descendants franchise, because I really think that 10 years ago, Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson were setting this up for people like Clarke and Trell and Liamani Segura to move in with the Descendants franchise and move on from what once was, because as fans, as the times change, we too have to change with the times. And I think a lot of people have a greater appreciation for this kind of thing. I know I have always carried with me a greater appreciation for the Descendants of Zombies franchises, and I've given it 5-star rating reviews because they've deserved 5-star rating reviews. So having said that, I know that a lot of people feel very differently about the Descendants of Zombies franchises, but they will forever and always receive 5-star rating reviews from me. I look forward to all the new characters coming into the franchise. I look forward to seeing what they will offer to this franchise and how they will bring it to life, because it's all about what it comes down to is how much you believe in these franchises and how much you yourself want to bring this one to life. I know for a fact if I was the writer and producer of Descendants of Zombies, I would want to give this more life than ever before. I'd kind of be like a Dr. Frankenstein kind of guy, Igor, wanting to bring this one to life with thunder and lightning and all this CGI and stuff, because I really do believe in Descendants of Zombies. I felt forever passionate about Descendants of Zombies. I've never felt so honored to be a part of a franchise and give you so many incredible reviews and insights and just offer a retrospective review of Descendants of Zombies the way it's forever and always been meant to be reviewed, because it's offered me so much inspiration, a great deal of inspiration that I've forever and always taken away from Descendants of Zombies and will forever and always remain a part of my life, because Descendants of Zombies will forever and always hold a special place in my heart. Let me put it to you this way. I will never forget any of you and what you did for me and this YouTube channel. From my heart to yours, thank you so much for offering me so much inspiration, giving me so much incentive to keep coming back as a YouTube creator and uploading so many wonderful videos about Descendants of Zombies as we celebrate the 100,000 view milestone and almost 4,000 subscribers. I can't even believe this is happening, but it's happening because of each and every one of you, not because I'm the YouTube creator. It's happening because you guys have believed in Descendants of Zombies that much that you would make this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel every single time. And I have each and every one of you to give a profound amount of thanks to, and there's never enough time in every night with the beautiful moon behind me there to say thank you enough to each and every one of you, because you guys made me the person that I am today, and you guys have represented Descendants of Zombies so phenomenally, and you guys deserve all the respect in the world for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. Seriously, guys, from my heart to yours, I can never seem to say thank you enough, but thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and I would be remiss if I didn't say happy birthday to Dove Cameron one final time on her 30th birthday, January 15th, 2026. I will have a lot more to say where this goes in an upcoming video on this YouTube channel, so keep watching for that video to drop. If you have not subscribed here, you're probably going to want to go out of your way to get that done right now. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell for every time that I upload, because this conversation will never be over, because it never has to be, because this story is far from over, because we still have a long way to go. Thank you so much for believing in Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have, and thank you so much for believing in me as your trusted voice of Descendants of Zombies, your number one source for all things Descendants of Zombies, having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and thank you so much for having watched this video.